So they transferred everything from this blue card, all the information, to this yellow card. So this is the one I'm gonna be keeping. They already set up my ID card for me too. Like, it wasn't a separate process. She just took care of all of it for me. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Live Travel Asia, where we show you what it's like living and traveling in Asia. Right now I'm here at BTS Plonchit, which is the BTS station you need to get off at if you want to go to many of the major embassies out here, including the US Embassy, the Japanese Embassy. And I'm here to get my certified copy of my US passport translated and certified by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Thailand so that I can get ultimately my Tabien Baan. And the agency that's gonna take care of all of that for me is gonna be located right here down these two buildings. Now, what I will tell you though is I spent a whole day searching and calling about at least 20 different translation agencies that are located relatively close to here in the center of Bangkok, and this particular place is gonna give you the best price. It's called the International Translation Center, and it is located in between a lot of other translation services located right there, and there. But I've been quoted everything from the 1,415 baht that they charge over here upwards up to 2,500 baht. So if you know any other place that's cheaper, you know, be sure to comment below. Okay guys, so what they do is they charge 500 baht for the translation, and then they charge 500 baht for the service fee to take that translation and have it certified in Changwatana for you. And then they charge 400 baht, which is actually not their charge, but the fee that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Thailand charges to do their certification. And this 15 baht charge is for the duty fee stamp that they need to place on there. And you can expect a 1-week turnaround to get all of this done. So all you need is just one, your copy of your passport. Number two, you will need a copy of your latest visa entry and stamp. And number three, if you do have a work permit, she recommends that you bring it so that she can copy the work permit and the Thai translation of your name so that it all matches. And after all that, you'll get a nice little receipt for proof that you got this done here, so you can come back and collect it in another week. Now, before I proceed any further with this guide, I just want to give you guys a clear notification that this is going to be one of those very in detail, in-depth kind of vlogs. Maybe there's going to be TMI for you, but it's going to be very helpful if you are living out here and you need to deal with this. Getting a Tabien Baan is probably only applicable mostly to those people who purchase property out here like I am, but other people who are getting married or getting divorced, I hope not, but if you are, getting your passport certified by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is quite a common practice to do. And that was probably the most challenging and difficult part about this whole process of getting the Tabien Baan. So that's why I wanted to start out with that process and let you guys know how that's done. Now, some of the other details I wanted to mention as far as getting your passport certified by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is that if you really want to save money, then you can actually go to Changwatana yourself. And when I read in the forums, it seems that the translation companies over there by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs charges about maybe as low as 300 baht. So you can save a little bit more money on the translation cost, and you can get it certified yourself. Just pay the 400 baht express processing fee. They do have a 200 baht non-express processing fee, but for most of you it's not going to be applicable because you're going to pay at least 200 baht at least in round-trip transportation costs to and from Changwatana from wherever you are here in Bangkok, because most of us don't live anywhere near there. So yeah, generally you're always going to pay that 400 baht express fee so you can get it in the same day. But to me, it's just completely worth it to pay them the 500 baht fee to get that done themselves, because it's gonna literally save you a whole day. Even with the express processing fee, my understanding is you have to go there early in the morning and then they're gonna get it approved like sometime in the late afternoon. So you're just wasting a lot of time and dealing with something that you can just pay, you know, about $15–20 for to get taken care of. Okay, so much for the smooth transition shot there. I guess the lady in front of me, something happened with her car, so she had to back out, and I like pressed it in and she didn't know what to do because I opened it already for her. But whatever the case, this process has been filled with a lot of like confusion, ambiguities, and I honestly procrastinated for about 2 years to get this thing done because there is a big cost involved, particularly to the American passport holders, because our embassy charges $50 just for the certified copy of where you see that little stamp and the embossment. So that's why I wanted to give a little bit of a clarification to the document you will need to get from your embassy. Every embassy is going to be different, and that's why there was probably a little bit of confusion. I've also found out from our district office that there's rarely any Americans that are buying property out here as relative compared to like the Chinese and the Indian buyers of homes. So they didn't even have an example to show me from the American embassy. But I've seen the copy of the Chinese embassy's certified copy, and it actually says notary on there, which threw me off because when you go to the US embassy, they'll give you an option for a certified copy and a notarized copy. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the same for your embassy, but as far as what the US embassy told me, it's pretty much the exact same thing. And the certified copy that I got, which is also $50, is gonna be sufficient for you to get that Ministry of Foreign Affairs certification. In hindsight, I should have just went to the translation office, as they deal with this quite frequently out here, and they could have like clarified all of that for me instead of trying to deal with the embassy employees, because really the people at the American embassy, they weren't knowledgeable about the Tabien Baan. They were confusing me and maybe even making the situation even more complicated than it had to be. So that's why I want to give a little bit of clarification on that. Another thing I also want to mention is if you are holding a passport that isn't in English, then you also need to get your embassy to give you an English copy of what is written in your native language. So okay guys, so now that I've gotten that done, I'm gonna wait another week and I'll let you know what happens with the Tabien Baan in a week from now. Alright guys, so it's been roughly about a month since I submitted my passport for translation, and now I'm finally back here at the district office to pick up my Tabien Baan along with a pink ID card. So in between there, a lot's happened. It took about a week to get that translated. That place is awesome. I recommend that you check out that translation office if you do need anything translated. And then what you have to do is you have to submit all your paperwork. I'll go ahead and, drop below what you need for the paperwork. At the same time, you have to pick a witness. It's really tough because you don't really know exactly when you have to come back, but you have to come back with your witness, and they have to be a Thai national, so I couldn't use Mayu. So I had one of my great subscribers, Pat, who offered to help me out. He's been such a great help because he had to just sort of come in on a moment's notice. Anyways, on my first trip out here, that was 2 weeks ago, I went ahead and submitted a copy of Pat's Thai national ID, and they were able to get the process started for reviewing my Tabien Baan, and I set an appointment to come today to pick it up. So I hope everything goes smoothly. I brought the blue card that I'm supposed to return because I'm not a citizen. They'll give me a yellow. And I brought my work permit, which you only need to bring if you have it. And my passport, along with my title.
You do YouTube, Papa?
So they're discussing amongst themselves how to properly say Ethan in Thai. Because there's many variations. But there isn't an Ethan apparently, so it would have to be like Ethan. Did I say that right? I mean, there's different tones, right? It could be Ethan. Like, Ethan is the best way, yes. Apparently it sounds nice.
Sounds nice.
Yes.
แต่ว่าที่จำได้ว่าภาษาไทย
ที่ช่อง10ค่ะ
Please subscribe to your
Live Travel Asia.
link.
So they transferred everything from this blue card, all the information to this yellow card. So this is the one I'm gonna be keeping. They already set up my ID card for me too. Like, it wasn't a separate process. She just took care of all of it for me. Okay, so actually they don't take this back, even though they transfer the information. I guess I just keep it for my records. Okay, so it looks like I'll also be taking my picture for my ID here, right behind me. So you should probably come dressed respectably. The service mentality at this district office is top notch. They have powder and combs and everything for you to take your pictures. You do have to take your shoes off because they're actually measuring your height like a mugshot. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so it's gonna cost 60 Thai baht to get your pink ID card. That's about $2. Okay, so it's going on 2 hours and we're just waiting for the ID cards to come. I didn't even realize the time was flying by that fast. I think Pat over here is quite liked by the people here. I think that works against us this time because he just kept talking about things about being a flight attendant, flying, etc. So I think that's what took that long. So expect at least an hour though out here. Alright guys, so it was relatively pain-free. It did take that 2 hours, but like I said, it's mainly because they really like Pat, they like talking to him. But even if it wasn't, I think it's not that they're working slowly, but I saw the amount of paperwork they're doing to get this Tabien Baan out to me. It definitely is a serious process. So they're asking me everything from like my parents' name, etc. So I think that's the reason why it took that long. But yeah, now I have a Tabien Baan. I can get my motorcycle registered and I can even get that pink ID card that apparently gets me into national parks and stuff like that at high national prices, if what I hear is true. Anyways, now that this whole process is done, this is a process that was like almost 2 years in the making. I'm really relieved. I'm just really happy to have gotten this process out of the way, and this is just another step for me to become a little bit more of a resident here in Thailand. Whatever the case, I hope you enjoyed the vlog or found it informative and helpful. I mean, ultimately it's you guys learning from my mistakes and maybe also my success stories. If you are willing to get the Tabien Baan done, I will say it was daunting at first. As you can see, there's quite a bit of processes to be done, but at the end of the day, I mean, it does get accomplished. If you just put in the time, effort, you're willing to go through the process. And I hope through this video, you're not spending as much time as I do or make the mistakes that I did. Anyways, I hope you guys subscribe and like and comment my video if you do find it helpful. And I'll see you guys next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia. Thanks again guys for checking out our video, and if this is your first time seeing us, head over to our channel Live Travel Asia to see the wide variety of content we offer, from our standard Live in Bangkok vlogs to our in-depth discussion videos about life in Thailand. You can also check out our new dedicated travel channel, Traveling Asia, for our international travel series, and our gaming channel, Live Game Asia, if you're just as much of a dork as we are or just want to chat with us on our live stream. Whatever the case, I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia. What's up guys? So this is the extra part of the vlog. You can click off now if you want to. This isn't really gonna have much to do with the main part of the vlog, but I am here in Hue Quang because I need to get that done at the Hue Quang district office. This, however, is a street that is across the intersection from the other street that I covered for the night market and the Hue Quang neighborhood guide. And I wanted to introduce this area to you really quickly because there's one of my favorite Chinese restaurants here. It's at this intersection with this 7-Eleven back there. That, by the way, is where the intersection is at. Okay guys, this place is super local. You only have Thai and Chinese menus. They did have an English one, but it wasn't that much more helpful. I just, default by pointing to what I like. This is the dumplings. They're good. I just point there and then I say, I want this, and that's basically Chinese jjajangmyeon. So it's different than Korean jjajangmyeon. It's quite good though. Alright guys, so I actually picked up a Nintendo Switch recently to help with my sanity out here, as it's always hurry up and wait, and I think it's just good to have something to do instead of fussing around and complaining about how people are slow and stuff. I just preoccupy myself with playing video games. So what I did want to say also to add to that Tabien Baan process is that much like my experience out here with most things local, it's really scary at first. You think maybe they're like scrutinizing you, and maybe if you're extreme, you're thinking they're being racist to you and just making things hard for you. But at the end, when I'm resolving everything and I'm seeing how much paperwork they have to process, I can now sort of appreciate why they needed everything perfect. It's just the process out here. They're very strict with the paperwork, so I think that's the reason why there's a lot of things you gotta do. One other thing I do also want to mention though is that there is a process for you to get a Tabien Baan even if you don't have a house. Although it's gonna be much easier if you do have a condo, like a property under your name. Another one of my vlogging buddies, Warren, he recently got one done. But the way he did it, my understanding is he got it because he's living with another family, so he can put himself under that household. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and link below his video so you can check that out if you're interested. As although there is another alternate way to register your motorcycle, having a Tabien Baan is just very convenient. And as you can see, it's very cheap. So it's gonna be a lot better than you shelling out like the $50. And actually, I heard the Australian embassy charges even more for like that kind of verification letter for you to register your motorcycle if you're buying a motorcycle out here. So, I mean, it's a gift that keeps giving. So I think it's good to get a Tabien Baan if you are in a situation to get it. And you certainly should if you own your condo. One of the questions they kept asking me is why I didn't do this when I originally got the condo. And it's because I didn't really find the importance of it, and I sort of procrastinated. So it would probably behoove you to do it as soon as you get your condo. Guys, check this out. This is legit jjajangmyeon. So compared to the ones that I had like in Taiwan, it's a bit more brothy. There's a bit more broth going on here. I think I personally prefer it like this. It just seems more authentic. And this noodle, oh my gosh. The noodles, it must be like handmade or hand pulled because it just tastes very authentic. It's really hard to find very authentic tasting noodles like this. Because even in Korea when I have jjajangmyeon, I really like it there, but a lot of the places are switching to like machine-made or mass-produced noodles. But when you have like this authentic like handmade noodle flavor, it's just, I really appreciate that. Guys, so these are the dumplings. I personally saw them make it on one of the trips I had out here. This is definitely homemade. It's not like most of the Korean places I go that have this, where they just buy it from the E-Mart or whatever and just heat it up for you. This is legit. It is really, really hot. I will say it is a standard dumpling, so don't expect like Din Tai Fung where you have like Xiaolongbao juice coming out of it, but it's very comparable to like the Korean mandus you have, except this has like the Chinese vinegar sauce, so it has that little sour punch to it. I like it. I really like these mandus. They just feel a bit healthier than the machine processed ones. You're just gonna have to come out here and try it. It's really legit. So I'm so full. It was 100 baht each for the jjajangmyeon and the dumplings.
it's definitely gonna fill you up. I mean, I know I could just settle for one dish and it would be filling, but this restaurant's so good that I want to try at least 2 different dishes. That's why I got 2. I'm just stuffed, so I recommend that you come at least with 2 people and maybe get 3 dishes and share. Okay, so I do also want to mention, just being straight up honest with you guys, keeping it real, that I have heard from other people that that restaurant isn't the most polite restaurant, that they could be quite rude. I personally, honest to God, haven't had issues with them, but you know, older ladies generally tend to like younger guys like me. I'm not saying I'm that great, it's just, you know, like, we don't really come across as threatening or something, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I have heard that they could be quite rude, and just be aware of that. But to me, honestly, if a Chinese restaurant isn't rude, then it probably means they aren't that good. It's just weird, but like, it seems like the best, most tastiest Chinese restaurants, the owner is somewhat rude, even in the States. And it's probably because they know they can get away with not having to deal with your BS, because they know you're still gonna come back because the food is that good. And that's how good that place is. I mean, it's like Seinfeld Nazi German soup kitchen kind of deal over there. But if you're willing to, you know, just go there, order, keep it simple, not harass them too much, make them try to explain something, or ask them if something is like, you know, this ingredient or that ingredient. I'm pretty sure it's just, you go there, pick something, order, eat, get out. You're gonna have a fantastic time. Alright guys, so that's MedConsult Clinic here. I'm here to just get my work permit medical certificate, since I'm getting my work permit renewed. And I just wanted to demonstrate how easy it is to get your work permit renewed. I don't know, like, people always say, how do you get a work permit? It's like, what is the process for all this? Honestly, I just went to find a job and they offer a work permit. So I just follow their instructions. That's pretty much it. And every year I have to renew it. And the only documentation they really need from me is that medical certificate. And over here, it's the cheapest I found anywhere in Bangkok. I shopped around like a year ago. Maybe there is a place that's slightly cheaper, but I'm already familiar with this place. It's only 180 baht, and it's really close to where I live. It's right by Semetivej Hospital here in Phrom Phong. It's sort of hidden, but you can Google map it, MedConsult Clinic. But right here is the Racket Club. That's what you'll see. This is a big building, and the MedConsult Clinic is on the 3rd floor. But they have different prices for the medical certificate depending on what purpose you need it for. But just go ahead and, you know, shop around, but this place is the cheapest I can find it. Now, if you want a medical certificate for your driver's license, I still think that place next to where you get your driver's license is convenient and cheap. But that place somehow charged more if you wanted a medical certificate for your work permit, because they said you need a doctor to sign off on it, and they're always like not there. So I recommend that you just check this place out. They're pretty professional. You're in and out of here usually in like 10-20 minutes. Okay, so other than that, the only other thing I need is some pictures. And there is a little pro tip that I'll give you. Pictures actually cost a lot if you say you're taking it for a passport. So what I do is I just crop in a bunch of small pictures into a standard size photo. And I go to one of these self-print kind of places, and I just print the standard photo sizes, and then I have a bunch and I just cut them out with a scissors, and it ends up costing me like 30-40 baht. It's really cheap. So that's a little pro tip for you. You'll need photos all the time out here if you're a foreigner, whether or not it's to like renew your passport because you have a work permit or you don't, and then you need it for the tourist visas. You need it for everything. I just needed like 2 to get my Tabien Baan. So that's a little pro tip. Just Google it. That's what I did. Learn how to use Lightroom or Photoshop to, you know, create a file with a bunch of small photos stuck on there. And I have them different sizes so that I have one for every purpose. And I always have extra photos with me. So that's how I get that done. And I did hear that some of the other nationalities, I'm American, but some of the other nationalities, to renew their work permit, need to get a police report. And all it is you just go to the police station, the main one by Siam, and it's hurry up and waiting, so it is gonna take some time from what I hear, sometimes a long time. But you just pretty much go there, bring your Nintendo Switch and chill, or play some games on your phone or whatever, and get a, you know, criminal background history check from here. So yeah, as far as I know, the Americans, we don't need to get it, because last year they said the same thing. One of my teachers said you need to get that, but my front office said, hey, because of your nationality, you don't need it. But if there's any other changes to it, they said they'll let me know and I'll let you know. But if not, then if you're an American, you don't need it. There's probably other nationalities you don't need it for, but if you do, that's just an extra little step you gotta do. But it's nothing that complicated. Not as much as the Tabien Baan at least. Anyways, I hope you found this informative. Yeah, it's pretty pain-free to get a work permit out here. Just hardest thing is finding a job, right? And find a reputable job that will sponsor you for your work permit. I think a lot of the misinformation you get that getting a work permit is hard, etc., are people who probably shouldn't have work permits and like using them like some shady like third-party thing and making something up. But if it's a legit job, I mean, they should know how to process your work permit. So that's like the kinds of places I recommend you go through. I mean, you should be working for a reputable company. So yeah, anyways, I mean, you guys do what you do, but this is how I do it. Just wanted to share my experience because I get a lot of questions. So yeah, I'll go ahead and see you guys next week. And bye-bye for now.